Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I was searching for my copy of From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler by E.L. Konigsburg and stumbled upon this, which I believe at this point contains my only copy of that book. It's called the E.L. Konigsburg collection, but it actually only contains 3 of her novels, From the Mixed Up Files, then also Jennifer, Hecate, Macbeth, William McKinley, and me, Elizabeth, and finally The View from Saturday. She was one of my favorite authors when I was a child, particularly From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler. A chance stumbling upon, goodness knows how I found her book, but I loved it. And then I read many of her other earlier books that are listed on this page right here. So I remember particularly fondly the second Mrs. Gioconda, but I also read Jennifer, Hecate, Macbeth, William McKinley, and me, Elizabeth, all together, one at a time, which was not a favorite of mine, and about the Benai bagels. And I think that was the point where I dropped out from reading E.L. Konigsburg. But I retain great memories of fondness of this particular title. Here's some illustration. It's about a couple of kids who run away and hide out in a museum. Just a very delightful story. And I was reminded of this book recently on a very nice video by Pat at Book Chat with Pat, where she was discussing this book, Ban This Book, which is the story about a girl in school who goes to check out her favorite book, which happens to be From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler, and cannot find it. Why can she not find it? Because the book has been banned. And so the protagonist, this young girl, starts to stock these titles in her locker and lend them out to classmates. So I decided that more as a political statement than anything else that I would purchase this book new. If you follow my channel at all, you know that it's about once every 100 years that I purchase a book new, but I felt that I had to do this. And a beautiful mint copy, of course. And I've decided I'm not going to read the book. I have not been very good at reading what Pat refers to as middle grade books. I don't know if they're middle grade or young adult or children's books. In my day, we would have said children's books. But let us say middle grade then. And I'm not very good at going back. I doubt even at this point that I should be going back to this. So I've decided that this brand new, pristine, unread copy is something that I will be putting in the book box and hope that it falls into good hands. I possibly ought to put this one in there too, but I'm holding on to it, although I am disappointed that it does not contain the second Mrs. Gioconda. So maybe I will put this in there as well and then just wait for a nice copy of my early favorites to come along. If I do, I'm not inclined to look backward or to go backwards, but always to move forward. So I may well not. But I think these books, I loved E.L. Konigsburg when I was a kid. She had a very interesting life story. I believe there is a biography out about her. It was in my neighborhood book box at one time, and I decided not to peruse it. So I will take this out to my neighborhood book box directly. And for your edification, I will put a link into the description box of this video to Pat's own video where she really goes into some detail about this book. The back cover shows you about books that were contained in the library of this young scholar, and you can see there many classic works of the genre, but the fact that it began with the E.L. Konigsburg title really made me have to go out and get this. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.